This is day 562 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor a company, share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Lamed Daled, Sif Daled to Yud Beis. Umechada. Chasam Rambam Perek Aleph Din Zayin. Kol Osem Malacha b'Shabbos. Afa b'Shein Tzurich L'Gufa Shel Malacha. Anybody uses Malacha on Shabbos, even though it's Ein Tzurich L'Gufa. Chayav Alez. Shita Sam Rambam is that Malacha Ein Tzurich L'Gufa. You're Chayav. Case that how so Reish Kol B'Saner. If you extinguish a candle, they should Tzurich L'Shemen or B'Sila because you need the oil or the wick. They should Yavad. So it shouldn't get lost. Or Kadei Shlo Yisov. It shouldn't get burnt. Or Kadei Shlo Yivka Cheres Shel Ner. Or that the pottery base of the candle should not crack. Because extinguishing malacha battery, the sky so you have in mind to extinguish. You don't need to the extinguishing itself, which only be the case if you needed to make charcoal or such like. How is a chayiv your life by conventional? But over poskim, most poskim, wherever poskim Rabbi Shimon, lachshin to gufa potter, then lachshin to gufa your potter. The only this is rabbanim. I'm not slav. I only chayiv mechabe if you extinguish the wick in order to give it an ash tip, so it'd be easier to light next time. Because when it's extinguished, then it lights next time better than if it was not extinguished. By Mishka, just like the Mishka, they extinguish wood fires in order to make charcoal. But other types of extinguishing, you don't need that extinguishing. It's done for another purpose. They're exempt midoraisa. Hey, Reish Perek Beis, because the Rambam writes, Mechaber Kol Shulchan, something extinguishes, no matter how small amount is liable. Mechaber is Haner, whether you extinguish a candle, Mechaber is Kechel Shalitz, or a charcoal. But if you extinguish a burning metal, parts are exempt. Only in this commentary, only I might forge it, you're chayiv. Because that's how people who craft metal osim do. They heat up the coal until it becomes molten. Then they extinguish the work their chasm in order to forge it. Zelut saref, and that is the forging she'oso sochai, for which one is liable. Hiklos mechaber is a derivative of mechaber. You're allowed to extinguish a metal, burning metal in which is arriving. They should know that the master should not get hurt by it. The Talmud arrived at Bramach. They were astonished. Since the Rambam says you're liable when you do but Siruvin also says you're liable if you forge. Why should be exempt if you extinguish a metal coal, molten metal? How about if you're forging, whether you like it or not? Even if you don't have that in mind, it's a necessary outcome. Oh, since you have no intention to make it a vessel, it's nothing. It seems to be similar to the opinion of the Arukh, which the Rishon bring that b'sik reisha lo nichole is not a b'sik reisha. The event is Siman Reish Man base. In brackets it says here, "Ava divrei Tosfos ein ze rak Rabbi Shimon v'lo Rabbi Yehuda ayin sham." Only Rabbi Shimon just said not according to Rabbi Yehuda, but according to Rambam, you have to say even Rabbi Yehuda. So that was the case, says Arukh HaShulchan. It shouldn't have been so cryptic. Rather, this is what it means. It's tzarich mine. In order to forge something and strengthen it, because a lot of water actually so the metal should become harder and forged. That mine is showing also because the first water you pour in it, granted, it extinguishes the fire. But they themselves get hot because it's great heat. In another rinse of water on top of the water to cool them down. He says if you extinguish a coal metal, you're exempt. Because by metal, there's no such thing as extinguishing, like Rashi writes. And if you add a wine to forge, you pour a lot of water until it became forged, then you're chayiv. Ready to move the tzarif is sheer. It says explicitly that in order to forge, there's a certain amount of water which is necessary. Left shear to cool down. Like a shear, there is no specific amount of water necessary. Ein sham. But move on. It's obvious then. The chabos havik left shear to extinguish is like to cool down. The gamshu poshrin yichabu, even if it's lukewarm water, it also will extinguish the fire. Says the brackets from Meyer Bekli, it's only there about a vessel, echo can move on, but regardless if it's a piece of metal or a vessel, same thing, obviously Viduk. So the Rambam's basically going to end up, there's never going to be mitzaref unless you actually deliberately intend to be mitzaref, because you need a voluminous amount of water. Vav. If a fire falls on Shabbos, somebody who extinguishes him in ibu mammon because he's the loss of money involved. Chayiv is liable. Shein ibu mammon docha Shabbos. So you're going to lose money. That doesn't push off Shabbos. Elim is only a loss of life. Therefore, people should exit the area. In order they shouldn't die. Then they should leave a fire to burn. The service come to kill, even if it burns the entire country. I can't show. So that's according to his opinion. Or that you're exempt. Ain't can kill totally. It's a drabano. So it's a prohibition, only a rabbinic one. Zeshkas of a rival. So the rival argues and he says, Chiyuv ain't conquer Shimon. Because there is no liability, actual liability to Raisa, because according to Rabbi Shimon, shouldn't answer the penalty because you don't need the coals of the smoldering buildings. According to Rabbi Shimon, and according to us, Shimon, there's no Torah liability unless you have mind to make coals. Kibbutz Sreifa and extinguishing a fire, you don't need the coals. Let's understand. What is Rambam telling us? This additional halacha about extinguishing public fires in a house or a neighborhood. He said every time you extinguish a fire, you're liable. You can't tell us that the loss of life pushes off Shabbos. Very explained that you suffer pikuach nefesh, even if you're a doubtful case pikuach nefesh. Shabbos, push off Shabbos. You only didn't Rabbi Kamashon. It seems to me that a great holiday is telling us a big thing. And we shouldn't be calling was there because before this. He wrote the Memechabin Gachel Shematech Shusramin. You're going to extinguish a molten metal. It was just they should Zukabal Rabbi in order that many people should not be hurt by it. Many people should not be hurt by it. To Tar Isad Rabban Shul Nezek Rabim, we see that an Isad Rabban is allowed for preventing the damage to the masses against Kosavu. Relevant most of the time, B'Sreifos Mizgalgalim Eishag Yecholim. And most of the time when there are fires, public fires, the fire is going to roll around and cause damage to the masses. Like if they're not going to extinguish the fire, I might say it's permitted to extinguish it. No. The kibbutz lekish is a deraisa. But extinguishing a fire is the deraisa. Which are rock and makeup cool and partials. So in the case of pikuach nefesh, love and makam nesa ba'alma are not where there's stamp damage. The rak achel shemateches ain't kibur min Torah, because by a metal, molten metal, there's no such thing as extinguishing midoraisa. The love achel shalitz, but where it's wood, like most of the houses would be, there is kibur deraisa. This for the Rabbi Yehuda, because he holds like that you're liable from lachashin and gufa, according to Shitas Rambam. Test. That's what the Tun wrote, that if you have a coal which is in a place where many people get damaged by it, you can extinguish it, whether it's metal or wood. For Rambam also b'shalates. So Rambam's one forbids with wood. Ad kan l'shono, end quote. But time we should do all places still like Rabbi Shimon, because most places can Rabbi Shimon, the Malach Shen Tzikal Gufa, Potter. The Malach Shen Gufa is exempt. And also the Rabbanon, it's only rabbinic prohibition. Putim, they raise the Rabbin, it's only because of the damage to the masses. V'aloch Gedeyazu. Allah is like this opinion. V'atula is called Das Rambam. Who doesn't mention the Rambam? If he's in Yerland, it's that the Od Heter Bezman Hazeh. Al Atem she's bar with Silva Simon Zeh. The kibbutz faithful is on Zebi Shabbos. According to this, based on this, I have another heter for putting out fires on the Zebi. Besides the one I'll tell you, the ones I'll tell you at the end of the simon, which is the came in Achshav Abatim B'Nimam Meitor Shus Rabin. Now the houses are built on the fringe of a Shus Rabin. The look is not going now like the time of the Gemara. Shav Batim Ayub B'Toch Hatzer, that the houses were recessed into the yards. The Batim Sugun Shus Rabin, they weren't adjacent to Shus Rabin. Achshav obviously means in a city. Now Batim Sugun Shus Rabin, the houses are near Shus Rabin. They're adjacent to Shus Rabin. The Me'asref and hopefully Marbega Chom. So many coals are going to fall into Shus Rabin. We hold the Mechabing Shus Rabin. You can extinguish a coal in Shus Rabin. I feel shades, even if it's made out of wood. Because it damages the masses. For W, it's well known. You want to go from coal to coal to extinguish a place where it fell. It's not possible. Because the wind spirits them away to any places. Without limit. We won't be able to extinguish all of them. Therefore, in order to avoid the damage to the masses, you can extinguish the fire itself to prevent the masses becoming damaged. But that's the first reason, because of Nezek Rabin, we who don't hold like the Rambam hold, even Gachel Shel Eitz, even a wooden fire you can extinguish. Yud Avanein Hezek Mama, that's only because potential damage to the Rabbim in terms of their bodies. But Hezek the money is threatened. Lohu Trafil is the Rabban, even if the Rabban is not permitted. Lo not this Elafil Makum Shein is cloud, even there's no list whatsoever. Lo Itil Latil Kamash Yochel Latil, you're not allowed to save as much as you want. Hakdei Mosem Shalosh Luz, only food for 3 meals. At time Rama Chazal, reason Chazal says this on Mishnah Matzim Shalosh Luz, on Mishnah says you can save 3 meals. Part it says, as the Michte Be'eteret Korb, so nothing is muktzah, you're involved in a heter. Davar Muta Betiltu, so we like to carry. Chatzim Rav, so you can take it to a chatzar, which is inside an Erev. Not till 3, let's still save more. So it's Rav actually, Toshadam Bahuam Mamona, since the person is very frightened about losing his money, if you let him save too much, Ati Chabuya is going to come to extinguish the fire. Rashi, if you're allowed to start saving so much, he told you Bo, because he's confused. Minsho Rei Shabbos is going to forget Shabbos. Asi L'Chbuye has come to extinguish the fire itself. Ayin Sham. Yurav, V'zel Shon Rambam Perachov Gimel Din Chav. Novel Zeka because of Shabbos, if a fire falls into a courtyard on Shabbos, Eino Moyo Komashish B'Chotzer. I'm sorry, Eino Matzil. Komashish B'Chotzer Chotzer Acher Shabbos Amavli. You can't save everything in that yard to another yard in that street. Avishir, even those there. Gezer Shem Mechabal Dleika, maybe because it's a Gezer, unless you come to extinguish the fire. In order to save, you're stopping because people get very frightened and confused about their money. Therefore, they made a decree as a Lamazon, Shabbos, you're allowed to save food you require for that Shabbos, but Kalim should serve Shabbos, and vessels you need to use on the Shabbos with and garments that you can wear. Because then you're going to give up on the rest and not going to come to extinguish the fire. But you will say that some say that B'zman Hazeh, you're allowed to extinguish the fire. When you're allowed to extinguish the fire, for reasons which are going to be given, and the one Hashem already gave, you can also save as much as you want. Instead of extinguishing the fire, those who say it's not compelling, but we can't protest those who are lenient and do save as much as they can. Says Hashem further being blow evil, there is no way. I'm a zone of a kevin, I'm to kind and save your food and your vessels. What can you say for his food? Even enough of Shabbos if the fire fell on a Friday night. You can save food for 3 meals. The halacha writes that that beverages you can save for the person the entire day, but wine you can only save that which you need for the 3 meals. And obviously you can say it, but it's obvious you can save Lechem Mishnah for all the meals. I'm not sure, maybe he wants to drink wine. I'm not sure I understand that. Back to HaShulchan. So you save my mother Shulchan. You save for human beings and for animals. Novel Shabbos, if the fire fell out in the morning, it's a Muslim state, so you can save 2 meals. Mincha, if it's sometime in the afternoon, that's a Muslim Sulachas, you can save for 1 meal. That's all before you ate. You can save meals for all the members of your household. So very machmir on what you can save. This is what it says. The Bach says if it's after chatzos, even if you haven't yet eaten, you can only save one meal, and the Pri Megadim is not sure about that. Okay, you base. Ve'enu might say Rabbi Yehuda Machshen Tzul Guva Chayiv. Can't say it's only going to Rabbi Yehuda says Machshen Tzul Guva Chayiv, and therefore the extinguisher fire will be the Raisa. The field of Chemir, that's in the Machman Shemei Abel Chbos the Avar leads to the Rabbi with the Raisa because you might come to extinguish will be transgressed to the Raisa. Okay, Rambam push a pasuk to Rabbi Yehuda, therefore Rambam Pasuk Yehuda Kasav Din say he wrote that halacha below Rabbi Shimon. Then okay, it's not true. Shariah so Shona Pasuk Rabbi Shimon they all like Rabbi Shimon. That's the Machshen Tzul Guva's part. And we come across Kasav Din Sek more Rambam unless they wrote this halacha like the Rambam with limitations. They're compelled to say this. Rav Husha Omer Svarazu, Mitosha and Ba'amono Asich B'id. That's Rav Husha said, we can't let you do everything because in that case you might come to extinguish. Rav Husha B'id Shpek Noitam Lachshen Tzukuva Ayin Shah. Rabbi Shimon Lachshen Tzukuva. I'm going to show you. He holds like Rabbi Shimon Lachshen Tzukuva's potter. Therefore, it must be that we can reconcile here having limitations what to say with the Shita Rabbi Shimon and Lachshen Tzukuva's potter. V'akav Sheish Sheitir Chachamim B'Shvil Hefsei Momen. Isser D'Rabbanan, even though there's some cases which are allow for because of loss of money and Isser D'Rabbanan. Case of Ksubas, like it says, Ksubas Sino Shalu Bokas Kasim. If you have a water pipe which has scales inside it, something which impedes the flow. Mamachim Raglo, you can crush them with your leg. But Sina in secret, B'Shabbos, my time of why, Masakin Lachayadu, because it's fixing indirectly with a shinoi, and therefore, we should say that it's because of a loss they allow that. Ayin Sham. That's because it's done in private. Below, this does not apply to extinguish your fire, which is in public. Every case you find your matter, it was all done b'tzina, all done in cases in secret. So, we're talking about a public fire. Even according to Shimon, a public fire, it's a problem. 3 matzil more than the 3 sudos, etc.